What's going on YouTube? My name is ginj-tcg or Chris, and today I'm bringing Blissey EX. And I apologize in advance, I don't have my face cam today. I'm actually at my girlfriend's house, and I forgot my face cam. So I've got pretty much everything else I need, so I hope the rest of the video should go fine. But yeah, I'm not going to be on the left-hand side today. But tomorrow I'll be back home, and I will be back and actually, like, looking, talking, telling you guys everything. So I hope that doesn't bother anyone too much. But anyways, back to Blissey EX. I've loved this card since it came out. I was hoping it would honestly be a bit better than it was, and I think a lot of people did. So I'm excited to make a more streamlined video of the deck and hope that this gives people like a good baseline idea of what I think it needs to be complete to hang in the meta. And then hopefully someone's got some crazy idea that'll kind of crack it from there. And I'd love to revisit this deck if there's some other direction people want to take it. But for those of you who don't know, Blissey is a stage 1, 300 HP Pokemon, so it's got an insane amount of bulk to tank a lot of hits. And with the return attack, you do 180 damage. Most of the time it's 160 because you have double turbo attached, and then you draw up to 6 cards in your hand. So if you play all the cards in your hand, you constantly redraw up to 6. Sometimes issues can happen where you get unfirst stamped or Iono and your hand falls back down, and you just kind of hope your Blissey has to live an attack to get your hand back. But that's not asking for the impossible because it's super tanky. And we are also playing cards like Rigid Band and Hero's Cape to kind of up that bulk factor and try to keep a Blissey or two living at all moments. With the Happy Switch ability, you can move a basic energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon once per turn, which pairs perfectly with Monkey Dory's Adrena Brain ability, since you can move dark energy around, constantly healing your active Blissey as well. Paired with cards like Cheren's Care and the tool cards you mentioned earlier, this deck honestly has a phenomenal amount of bulk, and it's pretty easy to loop cards like that to keep your Blissey in play. This deck thrives against evolution decks. Like, Blissey itself thrives against evolution decks. Anything like Charizard, Dragapult, even like Gardevoir, all pretty solid matchups for Blissey EX. Where it falls apart is against decks like Chien-Pao, Future Hands, any like basic EX. Raging Bolt is like the worst matchup for it. So I'm pairing it with Farigiraf. I mean, I saw a bunch of people playing it on Limitless. I know other YouTubers, I believe, have thrown a Farigiraf or two, or cards like Mimikyu in this deck to try to deal with those decks more. Because of Farigiraf EX's Armor Tail ability, where you prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by basic EXs. So it also works perfectly in this deck, since the matchups where Blissey falls off, Farigiraf is able to re-step up, to the plate and to kind of tank hits from there. So overall, not a bad combo for sure. So I mean, other than that, the deck is, I'd say, pretty streamlined and pretty consistent. We're running 4 Arven, a couple Boss, 3 Cheren's Care, 2 or 3 Iono, 3 Iono, and we've got 4 Pokegear. So the goal is to always pretty much find a supporter and an energy every turn and just keep playing one of those every single turn and loop those from there. But yeah, it's a pretty simple deck. I think if there was one change I would make, or possibly make, I don't even think I would, but this Chansey, I guess you could say it's the suboptimal Chansey. I think it's the most fun one, so I'm running it with Lucky Bonus. If you take it out of the prizes, you can put it on your bench and flip a coin. If heads, you take an extra prize, which is way too fun an ability to pass up. But there is this Chansey, which is probably better for the deck, because if you whiff a turn 1 energy attachment, sometimes you could fall behind on energy, which could really hurt you. The lucky attachment attack, for 1 energy, you can attach an extra basic energy from your hand, and sometimes that really could help you. So that's maybe the only other thing I would consider changing to the deck, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary. I think this is more fun, and if you can get an extra Chansey in play and take a prize card, you might as well. Why pass up on it? So yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck. Let's jump into these 3 games and see if we can pull a good record with Blissey EX. Welcome to match number 1. I chose to go second. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure if, if you could go first and get Chansey in play as well as energy, I think going first could be better. But going second gives you the option to use Arven TM Turbo Energize to get extra energy in play, which could really help you in the longer run. So I definitely think this deck prefers to go second. But I think, as long as you get a good starting hand, you can say the same thing with any deck. It does, it's not necessarily the worst if you have to go first. But we are opening up first game against Lost Box, which I feel like should be a decent matchup for the deck. That being said, our hand is kind of trash, so that's, that could definitely change. I mean, we don't, we got Chansey, we got DTE, which is epic, and we even got a cape. But the issue is we have no supporter. We got no Ultra Ball. We don't have anything to get an evolution line. So I feel like, after this turn 1, we're kind of just sitting in the water, kind of dead, and just waiting to see what happens. But I mean, we play an insanely high count of supporters to help kind of dig us out of holes like this, because the deck is in almost top deck mode a lot. I mean, after 4 Gear, 4 Arven, 3 Iono, like, I feel like the chances are pretty high of drawing into one of those eventually. That being said, we can't count on our opponent to really Iono us here. Like, I know against playing Gardevoir, sometimes, they'll just rip an Iono, and that could help you a lot with this deck for that high supporter count reason. But against a deck like this, they're just going to be running Colress until probably the late game if they play an Iono or a Roxanne, but we're not going to see that for a while. So, I mean, we top deck Boss, again. Can't complain about it. It's not a bad card to top deck. We got at least a couple Chanseys in play, so hopefully, we could get a couple of these to live this turn. And we got 3 Blissey in the deck. That's perfect. Farigiraf might not even be that bad in this deck, because they are playing Electric Energy, so they're playing the build with, like, Iron Hands and cards like that. So, honestly, I don't hate setting up a Farigi later in the game. And it seems like we have a couple Dark Energy prize, which is a little unfortunate. And 2 Arven prize? That's brutal. Alright, that's fine, though. We'll make it work. Something huge about this deck, too, actually, that I've loved since I started playing it was every basic in this deck. It's kind of good and bad. Every basic in this deck has over 90 health. Chansey, Farigiraf, or Girafarig, and Munkidori all have, I think, minimum 100. I think Girafarig has 100 HP. So, you can't die by Radiant Credential. Like, right now, with any other deck, if we had a hand like that, any other Stage 1 deck, I feel like we would have just got ripped apart by Greninja right now. Would have just taken out both our bench Pokemon. But since we could live those, we're not in a bad spot. I mean, it does kind of suck. Everything could die to Cram, but I mean, I feel like that's okay. We could deal with 1 Cram here. If, like, they use Hyper Blower, and I promote this Chansey, and they kill Cram, like, that's fine. As long as we top deck something decent after that, I think we'll be in an okay spot. So, we'll see what else they run here. What if they lost out? Getting rid of Rod, I love that. Because if they keep getting rid of cards like Rod, I mean, they're not going to have enough to recycle. Oh my god, they get the Poké Catcher. That's not good. Thank god we had the cape. I don't remember. Did they have Vacuum off anything? Yep. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Because they're going to vacuum away our cape, make our Chansey with the energy, weak to Cram, and they're just going to run the Prime Catcher. So, that's an insane start from our opponent. That is, like, every card they could have asked for, they're getting right now, which is awesome for them. Sadly for us, we're about to get cooked. No Hyper Blower. I mean, if he doesn't use Prime Catcher, I'm okay with that. I feel like that would be kind of silly. Though I don't know why he would. Why he wouldn't. I guess our opponent's just going to try to dig a little bit more, use as many Comfees as possible. That's smart. I'd prefer it if they save it. I mean, if I could keep this Chansey up, if I have to, I'll even rip a Pokestop, try to get a Gear or Ultra Ball off of it, just so I could get a Chansey in play. Because I feel like even 1 Chansey, we've got potential to buy ourselves a turn or 2. So they are at 7 in the loss zone. We'll see if they take off the Nest Ball. Oh, maybe they're trying to go for like an Iron Hands play on the Chansey with energy. That would be devastating. That would be bad for sure. No, they take Radiant Greninja. Digging even further into their deck. Our opponent is cooking their deck this game. It's their second turn. They're at, what, 7? 7 in the loss zone. An insane amount in discard. So, yeah, they're balling for sure. And they choose to keep the Prime Catcher in their hand, so that's alright. And we'll promote Chansey here. And just hope we get Ultra Ball or Iono. That's perfect, too. That was, like, another card I was going to say I hope I get. Just something where I could find a Blissey. Throw that Prime Catcher back on the bottom of their deck. And this is definitely a better hand, for sure. I'm trying to think how many Munkidoris I want to stack. Throw in this game. I don't hate 2 in play. And then I really want to keep the Cheren's Care. Actually, I really want to keep every single card in my hand. But we need Blissey more than anything. So I think we'll get rid of these. Because next turn I'm... this is actually really hard. I mean, we have... Ooh. One of these has to go. I have no idea which. Because Cheren's Care can loop our Blissey EXs. But we need DTE to even set it up. That being said, I think we just get rid of the Cheren's Care, keep the DTE to at least ensure we can set up another Blissey EX, and hope our active can live and attack. And I think that would be the safest way to go. And we could totally take Lost Box with 2 Cheren's Care. Yeah, don't know why I wouldn't draw cards. This hand is alright. This hand isn't bad, actually. I can rock with this. We'll see what we take off this. Dark Energy solid, actually. I really like the Dark Energy. Because if they start littering some damage on really any of our Pokemon, we could just start popping off with the Dracabrain. And as long as this gear hits an Arven or an Iono, we'll be chilling. I really want to see another Blissey EX in play this turn. And as long as we could get that going, I think we'll be alright. But I wanted to keep the DTE just so I made sure I had that for this Chansey. If I can't Cheren's Care is pointless if I'm not attacking, I feel like. Whereas, you know, we have 2 more Cheren's Care in the deck. I can't picture myself using more than 2 anyways. So, I don't know how good it would have been to keep that 3rd one. And they got rid of a Mirage Gate there, actually, which is really big. Whatever card they found must be absolutely insane. All I know is it's not Prime Catcher because it's sitting on the bottom of their deck. But at this rate, they are going to find it and quick. And this will be their 9th and 10th card in the Lost Zone. So, Sableye's live, but Sableye can only kill one of these max. And that's just what's nice about this deck. Like, even though you are evolving, your basics have some tank as well. So you can live some sneaky attackers like Sableye. You know, it's hard for them to set up, like, KOs on 2 Pokemon at once. Like Sableye usually can with other decks. And they're taking a while with this Chorus, so there's definitely going to be some more heat Lost Zone for sure. I'm curious what. Could be energy. They've gotten rid of a lot. Chorus and a Switch. I see. They haven't played many Switch, but the Chorus is big. Because that's their 3rd one. Yeah, that's their 3rd Chorus gone. Did he just get rid of an Iron Hands with that? Oh, that's brutal. Yep. Got rid of Iron Hands with the Pokestop. And now it's back in the deck, so. We'll see if we Ionoed our opponents into the complete nuts and they get a solid attack off. I'm hoping they can't do more than like a Spit Innocently or, you know, use Greninja's Moonlight Shuriken for minimal damage. But they have 10 cards in hand and it's Lost Zone, so I guarantee half of those are ways to get a Pokemon. You know, one of those has to be, I feel like, a Nest Ball or something like that. I'm just curious if they have enough Mirage Gates in hand and enough energy in deck to pull that off as well. Because that's the one thing that's a little difficult about Lost Box that you have to, I feel like, get very good at first is managing your energy. Because your energy needs to be almost in like 4 places. You have to keep track of it. You've got to keep track of what's in your hand, what's in discard, what's in the Lost Zone, and what's in your deck. And in discard, they got Electric, Water. Lost Zone, I don't know if they have any. They have none in Lost Zone, so it's more of just like what's kind of in their deck. With Rod, they took Electric. So we know they've got, if nothing else, just that. And they choose to play the Pokegear now, take their 4th Chorus, even though they can't play it, so it's just sitting in their hand. Which means if I get Iono, there is a 150% chance that we are putting that on the bottom of their deck too. And our opponent seems to be a little stuck here. Yep, there's the Nest Ball for Cram. If they just Cram, I'm okay with that. Especially if we can move a lot of damage with a Dracabrain. Like, that would be pretty sweet. So they'll switch. Yep, switch into Cram, swing for 110. I would love to get a lot of healing off here. I think playing the DTE is more important, for sure. You know, actually, I don't know if I necessarily want to play another Dracabrain, or another Monkey Dory down for a Dracabrain. I feel like that could backfire a little bit. Let's see what we get off Pokegear. We get Arvid, which is cool. I mean, that's Ultra Ball. I can't complain about Ultra Ball. You know, get that second Blissey in play. We're really going to need that. Whoopsies. Oh my gosh. I can't click. I can't click anything here. And we'll take the Rigid Band, just try to get a little bit of extra bulk on our active Chansey. I'm gonna keep a Nest Ball. Oh, actually, I might even just play the Nest Ball and just try to thin it out of my hand. So here's kind of a nice play where we could just heal. It's not an insane amount, but, you know, a decent little bit of damage. We'll put it on the Monkey Dory, and we'll start chasing down one of these Comfeys. See if we can pick up an extra single prize KO later on that with Adrenabrains. And then we'll happy switch our energy back to our active, make sure we can keep attacking. And we're still sitting at 220, but with the effect of Rigid Band, which allows us to take 30 less damage, we've got essentially 250 HP, which is an awesome spot to sit. And I don't know if I want to play another Pokemon, because I don't feel like having something else that's also weak to Iron Hands. And I think 2 Adrenabrain for now is more than enough, because we don't have energy to even get 3. Maybe later in the game, if we could move it across 3 Monkey Dories, yeah, that'd be a solid time to get a 3rd one. But for now, I think we're just gonna swing. I'm gonna keep the Energy Lotto too in case I need a DTE later. I'd like to have it, or a Dark Energy. But we're just gonna swing into KO and Cram. We're gonna draw every Pokemon we don't want to see, which is annoying, but you know, we'll hopefully make it work. At least we got Arven for Ultra Ball. We can just get rid of all of them. That won't be too bad a play. And I think from this setup, we're not playing Farigiraf EX here. I don't think they've showed us anything but water and electric. The only thing I'm a little scared of is Roaring Moon coming down. I'm not 100% sure they play it. I feel like we would have saw Dark Energy, discarded, Lost Zone, you know, something by now, but we haven't. Just because if they have that Oko, you know, that just Frenzied Gouging attack, that would be a little annoying for us. And they Lost Zone and Electric Energy, okay. And we know Colress is coming right now. No, Blood Moon Ursaluna, okay. And we live Blood Moon Ursaluna by 10 HP unless they either vacuum away our Rigid Band or play a tool to buff its damage, which both are really possible in Lost Box. I think Vacuum would be the more likely counter to our active Blissey, but you know, we'll see what they whip out here. And they still haven't taken a Dark Energy, so I don't know if they're running Roaring Moon at this point, which is great for us. That's perfect. That's what we want to see. And it seems like they're just going to be going for a big Blood Moon attack here, possibly making us live with 10 HP. He hasn't played the Colress yet. Yeah, no, our opponent hasn't played the Colress yet, so I'm curious if they're going to dig farther or if they're worried about decking themselves out at this point. Because they've gotten rid of an insane amount of resources so far, so I think they're trying to limit what else sees the no-no zone and kind of holding the Colress for later, which is alright. I mean, if our opponent is not playing Colress, I'm not complaining. Especially if they keep it for later. If we hit them with the late game Iono, you know, that Colress could be huge. So, and they get a Rod back. That's nice, actually. They lose Artisan, but that's okay. We're playing 1 Artisan, 1 Town Store, so maybe we'll... I mean, I don't think I'll be playing it at this point, but you never know. Oh no, we got rid of it too. Okay, yeah, so there's going to be no more Artisan for the rest of the game. And we'll see what our opponent has in store for us. So far, nothing. So far, they are deep in thought. Yeah, no, I have no idea what they're sitting and waiting on. I think that maybe they're contemplating, no, boss's orders for who? For our other Blissey. Am I that bothered by that? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, we drew into the switch? Yeah, no, we're not bothered by that at all. Because we want to rip Arven for Ultra Ball, I guess. Just take out another Blissey, maybe. Actually, yeah, that could be big. Let's do that. Let's get rid of these guys. Eh, we'll keep 1. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, we'll keep the 1. Sorry for the cut. I played Ultra Ball. I had to sneeze, so getting crazy allergies at her house too. It's bad at my house. It's bad at her house. I'm just a mess all over the place. We're definitely switching into our healthy at least as healthy as possible, Blissey. See, now it would have been cool to have another Monkey Dory, because I could actually get 3 down, but that's alright. I mean, oh, don't use Happy Switch before I use the ability, that would be bad. We definitely want to heal this one, I think the most, and we will Happy Switch again to, actually, you know what, this is fine, because I can put another energy on our Blissey down here. I'm trying to protect it from Sableye, which is why I want to move all these damage counters off of it, because now we've got 120, so if we could dodge Sableye one more time, that would be phenomenal for us. And we get a gear, which would be really cool if we could play it, but we can't. So, or we can't use the supporter we could potentially get from it, so I don't think I actually want to play it yet. I think I'd rather just hold it, see where it takes us, you know, see where we draw into, and then if we need to use it, I'll use it then. But I will just kind of burn the Turbo Energize. I'm going to play the Lotto. I'll totally take DT, actually, that's fine. That's a card I really want going into next turn. And yeah, no, we don't need a Happy Switch at all, so I'll just swing for 160. I like where our energy's sitting. Do I like to draw cards? Yes, every time. Rod is pretty cool. Although I don't think we lost any Pokemon or energy that I'm too scared of losing. We are finishing this game with 3 Blissey. I don't need this Chansey back that bad. I only have 3 Blissey EX in the deck anyways, so I feel like at this point, if they KO one, I'm kind of alright with it sitting there in the discard pile. I guess I could take it back in an energy, but I don't know. We have to see how they follow up. They need 2 switch cards, or a switch retreat, because Blood Moon, it's the exact same thing as Radiant Charizard, except it's just bulkier and a colorless EX now. But once you use Blood Moon, you can't attack next turn. So they have to move this out of the active, either with Switched or Jet Energy or something like that, and then retreat something else. But they might just be going for a Sableye play onto this guy here. Which, it's annoying, but I think I'd be alright with. Like, I don't think I'm stressing about that much. Let's see. No, yeah, because I could start... I think I could start, you know, taking like the 80 damage here and just dropping it onto Blood Moon Ursaluna. And they get rid of Iron Hands, but they do get 2 Mirage Gates, so that's a little unfortunate. And I think our opponent has 1 more Rod, if I'm not mistaken. They've played 1, they've lost on 1, they Mirage Gate and failed it. They have no energy left. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts so bad. There's their Rod. If only they did that right before the Mirage Gate. That's a big misplay. That's why I lost box. I think that's the hardest thing about it, is you have to be so mindful of what's in your deck at all times. The Pokemon, the energy, what's in your deck, your discard, your loss zone, your hand. It's like, that could be overwhelming to a lot of players, so I don't think that's that uncommon a misplay. And they do Roxanne here, so this is one of those scenarios where, you know, they kind of, I mentioned in the intro, they put us into what was supposed to be a pretty dead hand, and try, you know, we have to see if we just have enough set up attackers. What's nice is we have 2 set up Blisseys, so we will draw into cards next turn, but we also drew into the most perfect card this turn. And if they just kill this Blissey, I will totally show you guys why. Yeah, and it seems like they're just going to go for that. That's a smart play. That makes sense. And I think I will rod a Blissey line back here. I don't hate it. If they're chasing single prizers, like, I think, honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. But I also want that dark energy back, so I'm just going to go 1-1. Give me that dark energy, just 1 of each. So we're going to use Happy Switch to move the dark energy to the Monkey Dory, ping some damage, and then we're going to use this one to put it back on the Blissey, and we're going to get a big loop here and just cause some more problems for our opponent. They have 3 prize cards left. Maybe it is worth. Nah, I'll just keep stacking damage onto Blood Moon. Maybe they won't promote it. So then we're going to use Happy Switch again. We're going to move this dark energy right onto the Blissey. We're going to Cheren's care this whole thing up and just reset. Our active Blissey, full HP, I think putting us in a much, much more solid place. We've got Blissey EX for next turn. If we could just get any sort of energy card here off the draw, okay, never mind. We'll just draw 4 energy. So that's not bad. That's pretty solid. Now we just need DTE to ensure a big attack with this bench Blissey. But if we have to just keep stacking, you know, basic energy onto it, that's fine too. I mean, you know, we'll definitely get it done. Our opponent has 5 cards left in their deck. I think our opponent's in a rough spot right now. They don't have many attackers that can hit the numbers they need, especially since they got rid of Iron Hands off that last Pokestop. I don't think they're going to rod it back. I don't know if they have Rod. They do have Pokestop. Or Vacuum. Vacuum and Pokestop too, but they use Vacuum here. Get rid of our tool. Kind of putting us at 300 HP to Oko, which is fine. That is still a lot of damage for Lost Box to deal with. Especially if they're swinging into us, and we'll have 2 happy switches. I mean, I could attach this energy to one of these guys, and just move it to the other one, and then move it back to my Blissey. Like, that's fine, you know, we'll be moving 60 damage off. And did they just get rid of a Mirage Gate there? Oh my gosh. I think that's all their Mirage Gate gone. There's 2 there, and I think they've played 2. Yeah, they've played 2, so at this point, the only Pokemon you can easily attack with would be Sableye if they have Psychic Energy, Cram because it's free, and this Blood Moon Ursaluna. So I'm sure they'll take back Sableye's Psychic Energy, because they don't need Mirage Gate to set that up. Yeah, and a Water Energy for Greninja. Okay, that makes sense, that makes sense. Sadly, the 60 damage that we could guaranteed move this turn won't KO this. Even if we get a 3rd one down, which we actually could do, we'd be 10 damage short of killing Ursaluna, so that's a little upsetting. But we could KO Comfey. Oh, that's really big, actually, if they just choose to leave a Comfey in the active. That'd be really, really big for us. I think the only way our opponent ruins us at this point is if they somehow KO this Blissey. And we've seen so much of their deck, there's no shot they're still hiding a Roaring Moon. We would have seen it by now. I think they've been hiding a Raikou, but our bench hasn't been huge. Because they have Force Seal Stone, so that's where I'm getting, like, that's where I'm taking that guess from. So I think we could dodge even a Raikou attack, you know, we'll be dodging a KO. And we should be doing enough damage as well to KO that in return because of Adrenaline Brain. So yeah, I think no matter what, we're kind of sitting in a great spot. And if they just give us Blood Moon and attack, we're chilling. Because then we just attack KO. So that would be epic. But we will see. Maybe a Prime Catcher play now would be kind of crazy, actually. They could try to bring this Chansey up. And they're just going to switch card, try to heal some damage off of it, which is smart. You know, that's fair. Keep themselves up. Up and out of Adrenaline Brain damage. And this is a solid first game for Blissey, man. I mean, our opponent has definitely been putting up a good fight, but I think we've kind of just ran away with it a little too much at this point. And it definitely seems, yep, like they're going to try to stall our Chansey here a little bit. Never mind, they're just burning cards. I wonder why. We kind of just, yeah, we win next turn. I mean, they got, I'm not even going to try to do math. They got 130, we're swinging for 160. Yeah, that's GG. Good game to our opponent. I mean, well fought out, but Blissey, you know, going into a deck like Lost Box, Blissey just has so much tank potential between Adrenaline Brain, Cheren's Care, and the tools. So that's going to wrap up game number 1. I will see you guys in game number 2. Welcome to match number 2, where we open up against a crazy Miraidon. That's a Miraidon I haven't seen in a minute. So I think we're, actually, this might just be the game for Farigiraf. Right? Do we have the Psychic in hand? We don't. Oh, that's so upsetting. I think we might have to, though. You know, and just try to dodge the damage from these EXs in a future hands build. So I think that's going to be our play here. And just kind of let our opponent do their thing and see if we could wall them out with Farigiraf. Sorry for the cut. I sneezed again. But the only thing that's going to be a little annoying against future hands is that Iron Crown is shred, and that's just so pesky. I'm trying to think of a way around that. I don't think we have like the best. I don't think we have a phenomenal way around shred with twin shuttles. But they don't do a lot of damage, so hopefully they just don't even set it up that well. And we could just kind of kill them before we have to worry about anything serious. And I mean, we also have to pray we get a psychic energy at some point. And man, they are just going for the big setup. Yep, there's the baby Miraidon. I'm sure they got the energy. Oh my god. Yeah, they do. And grass energy. Okay, so maybe they're not... I mean, they have to be playing at least a little bit of psychic energy for this guy. And hopefully they just set him up. And they don't bother setting up their Iron Crown. That would be like the perfect scenario for us. And that's exactly what they do. So that works out great for us. And, oh, we just top deck for Farigiraf. I mean, that's fine by me. Do I Adrenabrain here? Like, is it totally worth it? I think we might as well. And just try to start littering damage onto who? I mean, he wouldn't be a bad one to put some damage onto. But we could also just try to start doing some more damage onto one of these guys. Because we actually do... Yeah, I don't even mind, actually, if Monkey Door gets KO'd. I just want to prevent this guy from taking more damage if I can. But we do 30 damage to one of our opponent's bench Pokemon. So maybe we could just spam an insane amount of damage with it and eventually KO that Iron Crown. And they Iono us, so that's perfect. We just need an Energy Lotto. We do play one Vessel, so one of those, and boom, we get Vessel and Arven. So as long as Psychic Energy isn't prized, we're in a phenomenal spot. And we play two. So hopefully we just got one of them. And we'll make it work. And they play Iron Crown. Oh, that's a problem. That could go through us. Because they shut off our ability. So that's not good. Oh, man, yeah. Future Hands is definitely one of the most pesky matchups for sure. They just got plenty of ways to beef through us. But that's cool. That's cool. I mean, we got Artisan. We'll set up another one. I'm sure we'll start seeing this Iron Thorns get set up here. Yup. That makes sense. But we can tank a hit from it as long as we attack it first, which I don't think we'll be doing. We'll be okay. So let's play the Artisan here. Let's try to set up another Farigiraf if we can. Is the other one prized? It's not. And do we have the energy for both? We do. Okay, that's actually perfect. So I think I want to save... Oh, we have the DT as well for another one. I'm actually going to get rid of Arven here. And I'm going to hope we can just somehow finish this match with our Farigirafs. I'm just going to hold the Arven and try to get Ultra Ball next turn. I think that would be much more beneficial to us. Because they're going to get the first swing with Iron Thorns. Yeah, and we'll just start trying to stack damage onto this guy. Alright, yeah, it's not we're not in the worst spot at all. Like we're okay. Iron Thorns is swinging for 140 plus 60, so they are swinging 200, and they are two-shotting us. That's a little annoying. Cape is not necessarily saving us too much here. They'd be two-shotting us regardless, but that's okay. That's okay as long as they don't have like a boss KO. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't even be that mad if they had a boss KO. And they'll take another Miraidon with Artisan. That's fine. We had to give him Artisan. I felt like we needed to keep Farigiraf, or get Girafarig on the bench that turn so we could get two Farigirafs. These Farigis are going to have to carry us this game for sure. And we do have another tool that we could also use on Farigiraf. That's kind of nice. But if you can imagine, like, this setup against Raging Bull, what does it do? Like, nothing. You know, it's like, it's cooked. Chien-Pao could attack with Baxcalibur, but if they're attacking with Baxcalibur, I mean, you know, we could tank a hit or two from Bax, and if, you know, that's what they have to sack, we're in a fine spot. And they get the Heavy Baton, which is also annoying. That's also something we're going to have to figure out how to work through. But we'll make it work. They're throwing energy down on Miraidon. That just means they can't retreat this, though, which is nice. And that Blissey is a perfect Ultra Ball target for right now. And we can definitely get rid of a... Maybe we get rid of a dark. Oh, you know what? I probably should have town stored, got rid of Turbo Energize. That would have been solid. I want to keep this in case they Iono us. Because maybe that Dark Energy could have been clutch on a Monkey Dory later in the game. But I'm not too sure. I mean, we'll definitely burn it now. And we will sit in top deck mode after that. But that's cool. I'm not afraid to sit in top deck mode at all. And I'm not going to play the DTE here. I'm actually going to play the Psychic Energy. Because we have more DTE in our deck than the Psychic Energy. So if we get Iono, there's a better chance of us drawing into that. And I don't necessarily need Rigid Band right now. I think I'm just going to hold that for next turn, because I don't think our Farigirafs will be getting one shot this turn anyways, so that should be okay. And we'll see what how our opponent responds here. I mean, best case scenario, they don't have a way to get this Iron Thorns out of the active, because they don't have a switch card in hand, and they can't use their tool because they put Heavy Baton in play. So they can't get that free retreat bonus. So that's like best case scenario. But they have a good hand. They have a big hand. They played Iono last turn. I'm sure they got something. They just have another energy. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And we have to almost pray that they don't put this energy on an Iron Crown. But we'll see what they do. At least they just attack. So they didn't get rid of our hand. We have the DT. We still have another attack off, and we can get rid of this Iron Thorns, which is great. Hopefully, our opponent only plays one. And they put the Grass Energy there, not the Psychic, so that's massive for us. I'm pretty sure they play multiple copies of Iron Thorn, so I don't know if we could really pull through with this one. I think this might just be like a rougher matchup for the deck. But that's cool. That's alright. We will definitely Super Rod back these guys. I mean, if we could get one more set up somehow this turn, that would be phenomenal for us. And let's try to thin something out. Never mind. Let's not thin something out. Let's just pay our prize cards are big. And our opponent has a rough time responding to this. And I'm just going to keep littering damage on this guy. Eventually we'll get there. Not likely, but eventually. Oh, you know what? Heavy Baton. You can just put the rest of the energy on this guy for Twin Shuttles. We'll see if our opponent does. Yep, they got the Psychic, so they can start using the Shred Attack on Iron Crown. And we do get a Pokegear, though, so that is actually really big. You know, if we can... Oh, actually, you know what could be really good, too? If we get Boss. Because if we could just boss this guy up, that would be massive. But we're doing such baby damage to it. Oh, man. Oh, this is going to be a close one for sure. I think we have to play the Pokegear this turn, because if we get Iono or Arven, that's awesome to set up another Farigiraf. If we get Boss... Maybe we can start going to work on this guy. How many tools does our opponent play? The EXP share. Man, I was hoping they would take another... Oh, they get rid of the Rigid Band. That's annoying. There was no need for that. And they play the Arven as well. Yeah, so our opponent just has the nuts. And they're going to swing for big damage on this Farigiraf right now. Because they got 40, 60 there, and then they got another... Oh my gosh, they got another 80, so they're swinging for 140. My gosh, that is definitely a problem. But they are bench locked, so we're not seeing another Iron Thorns come into play, which is perfect. That's all I really needed for a shot. However, we're gonna have to deal with an Iron Crown. And I don't know how well we could tank something from the Iron Crown. What did they take off that Arven? They didn't take another... Future Booster Capsule. That's big, actually. I'll just keep the Pokegear, I think. Ah, but Arven could be so... Just for the option of potentially setting up another Farigiraf. I don't know if I can handle that, though. Because I won't have any energy in play for it. Let's just see. Let's see what we get. We get Boss anyways, so honestly, I don't mind putting this on the bottom of the deck, but I do want to keep the Boss's orders. So, that's fine. Honestly, whiffing Arven just kind of makes me feel a little bit better about not deciding between Arven and Iono right now. And that hurts for sure. Because that is not anything we wanted. I mean, it is a gear for next turn, which is nice. But this Farigiraf has to live this turn. I don't know if it will. which is the scary thing. I chose not to use Rod too because we don't necessarily need anything. Oh, that's so massive. Yes, I want to play Lucky Bonus. Please give me another prize card. That's huge. God, that is another one of my favorite abilities in the game. Thank God that somehow worked. I don't know if it'll necessarily help us, but at least if they KO our active, we're still in the game for at least a little bit. But that's big. That's pretty big for us. God, I love Lucky Bonus. That is an awesome ability. Just cheese out another prize card. Sadly, it didn't get us the win, but that's cool. I mean, we'll take it. And they Super Rod back. I'm curious what they go for. Maybe a Baby Miraidon? That would actually be alright. I wouldn't be too bad about that at all. Yep, Baby Miraidon there. Okay. What's nice is they're not KOing us, right? Because they're doing 50 damage. We have 120, so even if they got a tool in play on this guy, well, and they Iono us to 1. That's bad. They would only do 70 ins boss. So I think that actually might just be game. Unless they have Canceling Cologne. If they did, I'd cry. This guy doesn't have Shred, does it? No. Thank God. Oh, they might have just Iono'd us in the game. But it would have been the top deck. It was Iono. Iono, we got into it. We had gear as well. I think we were finding this boss no matter what. And that's why I chose not to take it off that gear. Because I wanted to make sure we had the best chance of getting it this turn. Because somehow... Oh my God, wait, they put the thing on that. Oh, no, I didn't even think of that. That's upsetting. That's really upsetting. Because we got 70 HP left. If they get a tool, we lose. But I don't know if they have any left. They've played 2. I assume they would have played 3. But I feel like they would have played it if they had it already. So maybe I just boss up. Nah, I think I keep boss. I think I just keep boss. Oh, I hit for weakness? Oh my God, I didn't even... I completely forgot about that. I forgot they're weak to dark Pokemon and we are playing a dark type. I'm just thinking this is a normal type because I'm used to Blissey EX. I forgot. I also haven't like practiced against Future Hands at all. I forgot that weakness is a thing at all. That's insane. So we clutch up game number 2 off almost the funniest. It wouldn't have even been a misplay. I would have just bossed another Iron Crown, but that was a lot of pointless thinking and worrying for nothing. So we wrap up game number 2 for Farigiraf going to work against Future Hands, which honestly I feel like could be a rougher matchup. So taking it with that, I think kind of, you know, just really shows the power of Farigiraf paired with Blissey, and you could just flip between the two. You don't even need to use one of them if you don't want to. So it is an awesome game number 2, guaranteeing us the positive record. Let's see if we can make it a perfect record in game number 3. Game number 3, we did open up with 1 mulligan. Oh no, 2 mulligans. Yeah, that's right. I took 2. Which I was like, wait. Why'd I say 1? I literally saw him draw 2 cards and I'm staring at it. And we get a decent hand. I mean, going into Charizard EX, honestly, that could be a fun matchup for sure. What's scary, though, is they've got a lot of cards in their hand. And there's a good chance this Chansey's dying. So... Oh, man, this is rough. It's like, you know, I want to attach the energy to the active just to try to ensure that I'm getting more energy in play. Or, you know, I could attack as soon as possible, but I could be a big energy behind if I attack it and he KOs it. So I think I'm just going to poke gear here, see if I get Arven. Perfect. And let's just... Oh, I can't check if Turbo Energizes in the deck until I Arven, but that's fine, because this could be really, really big for us. So, thank gosh. Thank gosh we got this. And what's the damage with Blisseys and whatnot? And we got our Blisseys. And we got some Monkey Dories. We got... 1 Cheren's Care prize, so I don't want to Ultra Ball away this one. Gotta keep that in mind, because this is going to be huge against Charizard. And how many DTs? We got 4. Alright, we're doing alright on prizes. That's cool. As long as we have minimum 1 Blissey for next turn, we'll figure it out. I don't remember seeing Cape, so that could be really scary. But I'll deal with that later. For now, let's just Turbo Energize. Let's guarantee that we got a Blissey next turn. If they kill this one, we might not have an attack because we don't have enough. We don't have a DTE in hand, but at least we could, you know, tank a hit with the Blissey EX and kind of just take it from there. They Colress. Wait, what? What? What in the back rooms? That's not in Charizard EX. Although normally this Charmander isn't in Charizard EX either, so we're definitely Psychic Energy. Oh, there's no shot. What am I playing against? I have no idea what I'm about to see this matchup. I'm about to see Charizard EX with the spice. I love it. I mean, I hate Charizard. Charizard makes me upset as a deck, but I love the idea that they got some heavy spice in this if they're playing Psychic Energy. So hopefully they just take a KO on our active Chansey. They did play Colress, so we're not seeing a boss's orders. Hopefully we also don't see a Prime Catcher. Oh my god, no, I know what it is. It's Charizard Dragapult. Why am I going crazy? I know that. But they usually don't play Colress, I feel like. That's what's throwing me off. That's alright. They take a big KO. That's cool. You know, we'll start swinging into them with Chansey. We can get rid of Farigiraf here. Not going to be a great time for Farigis, because it only prevents basic EXs, not all EXs, or else everyone would just be playing Farigiraf. So, we'll load up this Blissey EX with a bunch of Dark Energy, which is actually pretty solid too, getting one set up with all basics. And that's an interesting hand, for sure. Oh man, yeah, actually that's not phenomenal. Because we kind of need a DTE to ensure we can Cheren's Care and attack next turn with a fresh Blissey EX. And we're not seeing it. They get rid of a double turbo. Does Charizard Dragapult play double turbo? I didn't know that. I don't know for what. They're attacking with Pidgeot. I mean, they set up this Pidgeot, so this person is ready to go to war with every card in their deck, and they just swing for a big attack here, which we're definitely chasing them. You know, we're starting this game in a rough spot for sure. That was not the top deck we wanted to see at all. So that's not good. Oh boy. Oh, this is not ideal for sure. I don't really want to Rod yet either. I feel like I am always going to be behind an energy now. Not good at all. I think we just take the KO. And we'll see if we could stall them out later. What's nice is nothing there is set up. I think that's the only thing keeping us in the game. And we get DT, so that's huge. But at what cost? I was trying to think, you know, is it worth it to Cheren's Care? Maybe just sack, you know, a Monkey Dory or something. Nah. Because they got the perfect maths to KO this Blissey with a Pidgeot EX. And they got 9 cards in hand, so I can't imagine they don't have it. Like, they took 2 mulligans, they played Colress, Jock, yep, that's it right there, I feel like. There's no way they don't have a rare candy in that hand. Arceus V-Star. Dog. This deck is crazy. I love it, yup, and that's a guaranteed KO. So that's annoying. But, you know, we got Cape, we got DTE, we got a dead hand after that, but hopefully we'll make the rest work. We definitely got a Rod here. That kind of hurts because we lost a lot of energy, and I think that was our last Chansey in the deck, so we kind of need to take, man, maybe even just one Chansey. We just try to do it with 2 Chanseys in play. I don't hate it, actually. We got Cheren's Care, so actually, you know what? That could work. I mean, try to take back some Dark Energy, because if we could heal and get like a cheeky KO on this little Dreepy, maybe if it's a Draclock, that'd be perfect. Will they even take with Jock? Yeah, Arceus V-Star, they didn't take a Draclock, so maybe all of them are in their hand, but then why wouldn't they have played it? Or it's the prize cards they just took. That would also make sense. I could have given them Monkey Dory here, but I don't want to put them at 2 prizes. I want to leave them kind of where they're at. Actually, I like Iono a lot here. That's awesome. That's a phenomenal card to draw into. And let's just, we'll get those Cheren's Cares later. For now, we need to try to hold our opponent back a little bit. So I just want to take, do I want to take 2 Chanseys or just a 1-1? Or even 2 energy, because we got almost all our energy in here. I think we actually just want to take a couple energy and a Chansey. We've got another Rod. We could get some more Pokemon back later. So let's just get that other, yep. And we should have another Blissey. Yeah, so we have another Blissey in the deck too. So that was definitely the right choice. I was trying to think back to the beginning of the game when I checked. I didn't check how many Chanseys. I just checked the Blissey. So that was That was a small mistake on like my end. And we draw into actually a solid hand for next turn. And we can't attack here. That's fine though. You know, they're sitting at 3 cards. They have quick search, so they could search for anything. But they had such a big hand, I'm hoping that we didn't give them too much to work with, but they just got Arven. So I'm sure they got Rare Candy, quick search for Dragapult, and they're going to make us really work in this back end. Lucky Helmet too, yeah. Yeah, this is going to be an uphill battle for sure. I don't know if we're going to run away with this one on the third game. It is, I think, like, where Blissey falls off is if your opponent has a bit of a hotter start. Like, they just had one Charizard EX as a hot start. But we had a rough time getting our bench set up and other Blissey's in play with energy. And this is where I think Blissey's biggest weakness is the energy acceleration, which is good to see. And they're going to spread damage. That's crazy. They could have just won next turn. If they just put all the damage on like one Monkey Dory. So that was interesting. I don't know why they did that. I don't know what my play is here either. Maybe just burn the Nest Ball. Because if I could get a Cheren's Care, that could be big for us. We'll take another Monkey Dory. I don't think it matters at this point. Just thin out the deck a little bit. See, nope. It does not seem like we're going to be living next turn. That's rough. That's really rough. Yeah, I think we just attach this here and then just rip an Iona and see where that takes us. We'll just sack a Blissey. I don't know what we're going to do about the other Blissey because it's not going to have energy, but that's fine. You know, there's not much we can do about that. We'll have to take 2 turns to set it up anyways. And we'll just swing for 140. Yeah, we're not even doing enough damage to 2-shot it now. That's what I'm so worried about. That's not good. That is not good at all. Oh boy. And we'll see how our opponent responds here. I mean, we're giving them so many cards with that Lucky Helmet too. That's such a fun tool. It's a good tool in a deck like this where you might not necessarily have the best draw engine. You could just take draw for getting attacked, and you got tanky Pokemon, so that definitely happens a lot where you don't get instantly KO'd, so you can make full value of it. But I think our opponent is just gonna kind of run away with it here. I mean, they Phantom Dive again, take a massive KO. Our Blissey is not set up. Oh yeah, there's nothing we can do about this. I think we're just gonna get hammered for game number 3, which is unfortunate, but I think it's definitely important to see because that makes. This is I think the biggest hindrance to Blissey right now is this right here. Not having energy set up is just, it's the worst part of this deck. And it's something that I think if we could find a workaround for it, we'll be ready to rumble. And now they just start smacking a lot of damage onto a Monkey Dory. Okay, I mean, I feel like they could have won. They could have won this turn if they just put all that damage on a Monkey Dory, but we'll see if we have an out here. Boss doesn't even look too good because they got Quick Search. There's no way they don't have a switch card. And they have Arceus V-Star, so they could search for 3 cards with Quick Search and Starbirth. And I don't know if that was what we needed at all. Huh. I'm trying to think how we get out of this. I don't know if I have a way. Yeah, I think that just might wrap it up. Because we don't have this Blissey able to attack. Next turn they just use Phantom Dive for the KO, so I mean we could try to make them work a little bit for it. We'll just boss up this. Maybe their switch is prized or something like that. You know, actually I couldn't put this energy here. Oh no, because they got 2 with damage, so that's brutal. We can't even fully heal our Monkey Dories. Maybe we could have attached it to 1 and try to heal, but I don't know if it would have entirely been worth it. Clicking the wrong one there. Oh, can I not? Oh, there we go, yeah. I was like, we should be able to go back on it somehow. So now we could 2-shot this, but I don't know if that necessarily would have saved us. Maybe it would have bought us 1 turn, but I mean, they had Arceus after that, so I don't know if it would have mattered at all. And we know they play DTE, so they got an energy they could just throw on, and they got Prime Catcher anyways. Oh my gosh. Yeah, alright, so they just they had it like that. Respect to our opponent. GG. You know, Blissey kind of got hammered that third game, but 2-1. I mean, not a bad record at all. Definitely a deck we could take. You know, with the right setup, we can definitely deal with Dragapult. Dragapult is definitely the best. Honestly, I think it's the best matchup for Blissey, so I'm not super upset by it. I think you definitely need to try this list out. You will definitely see more success against Dragapult than I did. Every deck just happens to have games or bricks. It's unfortunate we had to see one of those this game. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there are any decks you guys want me to play in the future, please comment them down below. Give me ideas what you think I should, you know, fix up in this deck. I'd love to revisit it at some point and I take all the comments into account. I try to respond to every single comment when I see it. And also down below will be my Discord channel. So if you guys want to play with my friends and I, make some decks with us, you want me to help you one-on-one, make a deck you've been cooking up, please, I mean, you know, join the Discord down below. We're super welcome to anyone. And, you know, give me a message. Don't be afraid to tag me if you want me to help you cook something up. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for making it this far. I appreciate it so much.